What up? What up? Just wanted to go live with my folks. See how y'all doing? Oh, can't be showing my pectoralis majors. What's happening? I see a lot of you have checked out the video I put up like 7 years ago called "Don't Move to Atlanta." I don't want to talk bad about somebody's city, so I hope nobody took that as me talking bad about their city because I don't want no static. I was just talking about if you can't afford to move there, don't move there. The experience is different. But I got a lot of people commenting about Black people being rude, so let's talk about that. Some people said, some guys, or I don't know if it was a guy, but I think it was a guy. He was talking about the rudest cities, DC, Baltimore, New York, Philly. I've been to New York. I didn't really experience any rudeness, but New York people, they're aggressive. It's an aggressive place. So let's just get this right. The economy makes people more aggressive. So I can't just blame everything on, what I'm saying? The economy makes people like, yo, I got to get mine. So New York is a very expensive place to live. Matter of fact, it's expensive pretty much everywhere nowadays. So you really got to look out for that. And I blame that on a lot of things. But then there's the Black culture. And that's where I really want to head. It is cultural for us to be combative. Now, we can't look at any culture and say that they haven't been combative against each other at one point or another. Because when people live in close proximity, they're most likely to be combative against each other. But our culture is to be combative against each other. We show a disdain towards anybody who looks like us. And we think it's okay to be completely dismissive to anything that we do. And then it's like we need to get our point across to show that, yeah, we were being rude, but you should accept it. It's like, what? And like there are so many cases of this. And I was listening to one guy. He was stating that Black people are pretty much the laughing stock of the society, pretty much, because they get into an argument and then they go ahead and off one another, like somebody is unalive and they're talking about like the whole Quavo thing, especially when you are a multi-millionaire. You gotta understand that those guys, I think Quavo was worth $26 million and got killed and got killed at a dice game, at playing dice, surrounded with other millionaires, and then some people, aren't millionaires, but you're millionaires. Like you're so far above this, and you come back to these neighborhoods and then they knock you off. It's like, it doesn't happen to white people who, make country music or rock and roll. They don't go, we can't come home to our neighborhood. You don't hear Zeppelin and, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and, what I'm saying, Green Day and all those guys, Peter, Paul, Mary, whoever, you never heard them say, I can't go back to my neighborhood. As a matter of fact, they make it a point to go back to their neighborhood. You don't hear Keith Richards talking about he can't go back to, be like, well, what are you talking about? They'd be like, this is where I went to school. This is my teacher, blah, blah, blah. This is what we did. This is where we played at. And my mother still stays there. and they welcome them back like, yo, Van Halen or whatever. And it's and they're welcome, they're welcomed. Only happens to us. And we make a big deal out of it. As a matter of fact, you can't go to some places once you hit a certain echelon. And now it's to the point where you can't even have, a grand, $2,000 in your pocket. Let me tell you something. If you go out and you make a grand, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Do not tell somebody you went out. Like back in the day, you used to be able to I came up on $50. This is what I'm going to do with it. How did you do it? Let's do it together. No. Those days are over. Shanquilla Robinson has taught us a lesson in her demise, in her unfortunate demise. She has taught us a lesson that the people who are eating with you, talking to your mother, going on vacation with you for years by your side, once they find out your finances, they're plotting against you, and it's over. It is over. And they plotted for years to get Shanquilla. It is over. So I just wanted to say this, Black people being rude and aggressive, yeah, they are, but now Black people have taken it to a whole nother level. It's not even just the meanness, or terrible service. Oh my God, the service is like you almost don't want to see a Black person serve you. You don't. You walk into the Wendy's or whatever, and you see, there's going to be a bunch of Black people there. They'll leave you standing there, and they'll, talk amongst yourselves. And you're the only customer there. They will just leave you standing there and talk amongst yourselves. And then eventually they'll get around to you, and they have so much discontent just to see your face. Hello, can I help you? What did I do to you? Like, if I don't come to this store, if customers don't walk in, the store closes, you lose your job. This doesn't register to a lot of these people, just terrible service. I even had a dude serve me out of bank, and I'm next in line. He didn't say, can I help you? He just stared at me. Just stared at me, and then I told him what I wanted to do, and he asked for my ID, and he snatched it from me, and I was 5 seconds off his ass. I was 5 seconds off this little dude's ass. Like, I'm not sure what your problem is, but, if you want to go, we can go. You know what I mean? And I'm not even that type of guy, but I would have loved to whoop his ass, but I didn't. I called customer service, and that was just that. So, yeah. Now it's a whole new level. Now you got to keep your head on a swivel. Don't show your cash. Don't ride around with cash. Don't do that. Do not ride around with cash, because the cops are taking your money from you and then making you get a lawyer just to get your money. So that's a whole nother video I'm going to make too. So yeah, don't ride around with money. You even got to be careful of banks, because banks are taking people's money too. Anyway, so Black people are rude, and it's not to say nobody else is, but Black people have taken it up to the point where it is dangerous to even, associate with some Black people. Not all Black people, but a lot of them are very rude. You guys got to be careful, because people want the business with you now. They want fisticuffs. They want to shoot you. They want to do harm, bring harm to you. So be careful of who you get into it with. It's your boy Tone 'em out.